Hey guys, welcome to section 3 of chapter 7. This is part 2. Okay, so all we're doing is simplifying the expressions here at the top for the bell ringer / warm up. This is FOILs, so it's going to be x times x is x squared, followed by x times -4. So I distribute this x into both. Now I'm going to distribute the -3 into both of them, which would be -3x plus 12. I'm going to combine my like terms after I multiply. That's going to be my x squared minus 7x plus 12. In 2, it's the same thing, a binomial times a binomial, so we'll distribute this x into 7x. We distribute x into 5, which is positive 5x. Now the inner, which would be -8 times 7x, which is minus 56x. And -8 times positive 5 is minus 40. So I had 7x squared minus 51x minus 40. And 2's finished. And last but not least, same thing. First term, so I'm going to distribute 6x times 5x. Give me my 30x squared. 6x times 2 is minus 12x. 11 times 5x is 55x. And 11 times 2 is minus 22. So my like terms again are in the middle. 30x squared gets rewritten. This will be plus 43x minus 22. Okay, so there's your bell ringers. It's a good reminder of how FOIL works. Now getting into the meat of the lesson, we're going to be doing perform operations with functions. So now we're going to start putting functions together. BB. So I'm going to take f of x, I'm going to substitute in 3x squared for that, rewrite my plus, and now I'm going to put in g of x, which is minus, or negative 7x squared. So if I add these, I'll get negative 4x squared. My like terms. All right, subtraction. So now I'm going to do 3x squared minus a negative 7x squared, which then would be a plus, right? Because two negatives make a plus. This is actually 10x squared. All right. Coming down to f of x times g of x. So f of x is still 3x squared. G of x is still negative 7x squared. If I multiply those, negative 21x to the 4th. All right, f of x over g of x. So 3x squared over negative 7x squared. 3/7 cannot reduce, so we'll keep the negative 3/7, but these x squareds cancel out. So you only have negative 3/7 left. X squared divided by x squared. Anything divided by itself is going to be 1. All right, now going to the bottom portion of the first page. More of the same here, okay? But now we're changing some functions. This time we're going to let f of x equals 2x to the 1/4. I'm going to let g of x be 6 times x to the 3/7. So this is 2x to the 1/4 plus 6x to the 3/7. Okay? Now, since this is addition subtraction, 4th roots can only go with 4th roots. So there's no way I can break this down. That's my final answer. There's nothing you can combine there because the exponents are different. Now the bases are the same, but remember the bases and the exponents with multiplication and division have to match. F of x here, 2x to the 1/4 minus 6x to the 3/7. Again, the x's match up, but the exponents do not. So I can't do the 2 minus 6. I just have to leave that as is. There's nothing I can do to reduce that to make the shoe fit. All right, in 3, now we have 2x to the 1/4 times 6x to the 3/7. Now, 2 times 6 is 12. Now we're going to do 1/4 plus 3/7. Okay, and that will be my new exponent. So remember, okay, to get a common denominator, you can just do this right on your calculator. You don't have to worry about, doing it another way. Let me get that calculator up here. There he is. Right, I get my page back with that on it. All right. So if you don't like doing all the common denominator stuff, you can always do 1 divided by 4 plus 3 divided by 7. Go math 1, and then we'll keep it in fraction form. So we're looking at 19 over 28. So this would be 12x to the 19 28. If you wanted a common denominator, it would be 28, as you can see. So this would become 7 times 4 is 28, so 7 times 1. And on this top side, we multiply by 4 top and bottom. So 3 times 4 is 12. 7 plus 12 is 19. So that's what the calculator did. It's in lowest terms, so that would be completed at that point. And I'll move this over here so I have it on my screen yet. Now we have division. So now we have 2x to the 1/4 over 6x to 3/7. So we'll reduce 2 over 3 like normal, which is 2/3. 3/7 is larger than 1/4. This is 0.25. If you don't believe me, okay, 3/7. This is bigger than 0.25. So the x will remain on bottom. Now what we need to figure out is what is 3/7 minus 1/4. And again, you can do it on the calculator. I'll show you how to do it by hand then. 3/7 minus 1/4. Make sure you keep it in fraction form. 5/28. So that would be here. Okay, so you could write it like that, and I'll put an or up here in a second. I could also write it as 1/3 times x to the negative 5/28. It's the same thing. Now, as far as the common denominator goes, 28 is still the common denominator. You multiply him times 4, so 3 times 4 is 12. 7 times him, so it'll be 12 minus 7, and that's where this 5 comes from that you see. So this is good, or this is good. Either one is fine. All right? The back of this lesson is pretty much all the same. So we're going to keep doing these. I see the next one has a binomial, and this one has a binomial. So they're trying to now mix it up a little bit. So we got negative 5x to the half. There's my f of x. Plus my g of x, which is 3x minus 7. So I put g of x in parentheses because it's a whole thing. So the plus isn't going to change any of the signs in here. I have an x, but no common exponent, right? So I can't add these. So if I put these in order, which is called standard form, from highest exponent to lowest, that's the answer for 1. You cannot put those x's together because this one has a square root of x. The other one does not. All right, this time, excuse me, we're going to do subtraction. So this is 5x, negative 5x to the half, minus 3x minus 7. And this is why I like putting binomials in parentheses. And you could even do it with, you know, a monomial here. It's not a bad idea because look, this minus has to go into both of these. So this is negative 5x to the half minus 3x plus 7. Now if I put that in standard form, it'd be negative 3x minus 5x to the half plus 7. And that's it. All right, f of x. Now we're getting into multiplication. Again, I'm going to use parentheses. This makes it easier to see the distributive property. So I'm going to go here. So negative 5 times 3. Okay, and a half plus 1 is 3 over 2. Plus, negative times a negative is a positive. 5 times 7 is 35. Rewrite my x to the half. And that's that. All right, in 4, negative 5x to the half over 3x minus 7. Okay, the only way I could reduce this is if I could pull out a GCF down here. There is none, so I can't cancel out anything with the bottom and the top. All right, going down to our fourth pairing. Okay, so we're going to have f of x, which we know is 2x plus 3, plus g of x, which is negative 4x plus 9. So it's going to give me negative 2x plus 12. Because negative 4x and 2x, there it is, 3 plus 9 is 12. F of x, again, I'm using parentheses to keep it straight on how this minus is going to affect my g of x. So I'm going to distribute this minus in, so if I make this plus, he becomes plus, he becomes minus. So 2x plus 4x is 6x, 3 minus 9 is negative 6. All right? Coming down to f of x times g of x. So this would be 2x plus 3 times negative 4x plus 9. So if I go here, negative 8x squared, That'll be 18x. That'll be minus 12x. And there will be 27. So if I combine like terms, negative 8x squared plus 6x plus 27. 18x minus 12x gives me that 6x. All right? And last but not least, my division. 2x plus 3, no GCF, so that does not look like we're going to have anything to pull out. No GCF here, no GCF here. There's really nothing that you can reduce there. That's it. All right. Now we have to read critically in the bottom and analyze what's going on here. So we have to figure out, okay, Michelle was given f of x is negative 10x plus 8, g of x is 5x plus 7. She had to complete f of x minus g of x, figure out what she did incorrectly, then solve the problem. So we have to do f of x, which would be negative 10x plus 8, let's use parentheses here, minus 5x plus 7. So we have to distribute this minus in. So it would be negative 10x plus 8 minus 5x minus 7. So let's take a look over here to the left. Okay, she didn't use parentheses. Okay, so right there is probably going to be a problem because this would be negative 15x. That's good. 8 minus 7 is not that. See, they didn't distribute this minus in because we're subtracting all of g of x. So here is our error. So what we should get is negative 15x, because there's 2 make negative 15, and then 8 minus 7 is positive 1. So the error was they didn't distribute this minus into the 5x plus 7. Right, last but not least, now it's Joey's turn. Joey was given f of x is negative 10x plus 8, and g of x is 5x plus 7. He had to complete f of x times g of x. So that would be negative 10x plus 8 times 5x plus 7. So it looks like right off the bat, again, we didn't use parentheses. So it looks like all he did was distribute the 8. So that's the issue, okay? This needs to be multiplied into, or should I circle this one? This has to be multiplied in as well. So no parentheses, they didn't distribute the negative 10x. So what we do here is when we actually FOIL this, let's start here, negative 50x squared. Here, negative 70x. The inners, that would be positive 40x. And then 8 times 7 is positive 56. So combine these like terms, rewrite him, that'll be negative 30x plus 56. All right, so they forgot to distribute this negative 10x because again, the parentheses they did not write. That's this section, kind of like this section, all right? More Algebra 1 with a little bit of blend of Algebra 2 there with the functions coming into the picture. Hope everything's going well. Take a look at the video, watch it as many times as you need. Don't be afraid to ask questions, email me or contact me in class and I'll help you out. Thanks guys, have a great day.